Hello and welcome to this beautiful Sunday collective. Hi Ma, how are you?
I'm so good. Getting into the spirit of Diwali. I'm so excited setting up my Diwali to celebrate with everyone. इधर ले आइए.
So we're already live.
Yes. Okay, ले. Om Gan Ganpate Namaha. 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 So nice. How is everybody today? I have these lovely 3 candles, wish-fulfilling candles during the course of the evening. I'll light them and ignite. So we'll set them up as soon as we have a matchbox.
Yes, Ma.
Hmm.
Here we go.
There we go. Okay, everyone, get ready to make a wish for your family. Happy Diwali. Oh, that wasn't such a successful one. Ew. The crystal Mother Earth. Very nice.
Yeah.
Then fishing for new things. This is the lovely fish. Can they see it?
Yes, they can.
And they are going to be fishing for something new in 2022. And that's beautiful. And then I'm going to have this third one lit up, which is like the lovely, 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 lovely yagya. You know the yagya?
Yes, so
For
they
our
can't see
karma.
it, Ma. You'll have to just, thank you, Ma, for showing it to everyone.
I'm setting it up right here. Is that good? Is it visible?
Yes, Ma, it's, I think we can keep it off camera. Everyone is, or would you like it to be on camera?
I was thinking that the flames, the 3 flames should be visible. Is it visible now? No?
It's visible from one feed to the other because we're live on Instagram and Facebook. So let me try. I can't adjust this camera. Sorry, Ma.
No. Okay.
So yes, we're
Should I
here.
put it here?
No, that's fine. People on Instagram can see it.
See it?
And those on Facebook can see the 2 lovely candles
I'll
and the
light
crystal.
a third one for them.
Okay, wow, wonderful.
Where will I place it? So that they can see it.
On the crystals, Ma. On the bed
Somewhere
of
here?
crystals, yeah. That's beautiful.
I'm going to light it,
Yes.
place it somewhere. Okay. What would you wish for everyone?
For wellness and health and peace of mind.
Nice. Very nice. And they're all the Kundalini colors, huh?
Yeah.
Did you choose it like that or they just appeared?
I just picked up whatever.
The gold, the
first
red
3.
and the blue. Nice.
So what is the Kundalini for those who may not know what the Kundalini is?
The
And
Kundalini chakra is just 1 inch above the root along your spinal column where all your karma is stored in that beautiful spiral of life, and it activates as and when you desire it to activate or whenever you do some prayer or you do some good action, then the good karma is effulgent like a fountain and it bubbles up. And sometimes when we do naughty things, then the negative karma also catches up through the same chakra. And these are the three primary colors of the universe, the yellow, the red, and the blue. And everything is activated from these three colors.
Yes.
So
the Kundalini chakra is our karma
keeping vessel, universal instrument, tool, activator in our physical body, in our karmic body, in our mental body. It's always acting like a pulse, just like our heartbeat. It's also beating with that influx of energy from the aura, and it's coming from our ancestors as well. So, and also from a past lifetime, that we are creating some universal consciousness and we are activating.
And then this beautiful yagya pot, which we have with sea salt, and we've got this beautiful red candle, reddish orange. And I know that it resonates with one of the sounds of my golden cloud healing modality that you teach us, which is shreeing. And the meaning or the affirmation or the intention is that the human life or the purpose of the human life is to be of divine expansive service to all on Mother Earth.
And in the Father Sky.
And in Father Sky. So could you tell us a little bit more about how these wish-fulfilling candles from the Starlight Company really, what is the difference between lighting these candles or any other candles? And of course, as a lot of us joining in will be celebrating Diwali and Deepavali, depending on what part of the country you're from.
Yes.
But ultimately, it's about
the Festival
of Light. Whatever country you're in and you're participating in this good over evil festival, Hindu festival. So as we will be lighting the deeps or the diya or the deepaks or the ghee lamps, what should we be really intending? And what is the purpose of light actually in the universe as you see it from a healing and clairvoyant perspective?
It's a reflective light of the illumination of our crown chakra, and that highest mountain is keeping the light, is the keeper of the light and of illumination and of knowledge, of wisdom, of effulgence, illumination and enlightenment. So every human being is aspiring for that effulgence of that consciousness of wisdom, where they are very astutely aware of what is the purpose of the human life, why are they here, what are they doing on planet Earth, and what are they supposed to do in that time that they have. Of course, everybody's searching for knowledge, everybody's trying to do things in a little bit better way. But finally, it's about realigning yourself with the divine and with your family, with your ancestors, with the human race that came before you, and what you're leaving behind for the human race that is the immediate future or the far-off future that you are, dovetailing your intelligence towards.
Oh wow, that's really powerful, and I invite everyone to participate with that beautiful energy that is descending during this month of Kartik. So what is the month of Kartik?
The month of Kartik is the month in which we celebrate. There are 4 months that we are celebrating the divine, and all the devas or the angels in the spiritual universes are actually resting. And so the human beings are given this great opportunity to further their own spiritual cause and what they're doing here and working for the divine. And just as we'll be celebrating the Deepavali or Diwali, which is the festival of lights and the homecoming of the divine in the human realm, the same way the devas will all be waking up on 15 days from the 5th of 4th of November. And around the 19th, 20th of the month, we'll be celebrating Kartik Purnima, which will be the Deepavali of the Devas, where the Devas will all be waking up, and then they'll be taking charge of their own realm and will be distributing their grace and their happiness at how well the human race did. Yes.
So there is a huge energy of rejoicing and celebration
and reclamation.
So what are we, or what should we be reclaiming in our own lives as we go into this festive season of Diwali and Deepavali?
I think that we have reclamation of our own spiritual inherited nature that we are working through many, many lifetimes. And I always explain it in a very simple way, that there is, the highest peaks of the mountain are in the valley of spiritual adventure, is that the highest peak is the mountain top, where, there is a, English phrase which says that there's only place for one at the top of the mountain, right? So there's very little place at the peak. So there's only place for one. So in that solitary awareness, to rediscover yourself, to meditate, to conjecture, to, identify what you're grateful for and what is your search all about. And then once you've gone through that self-isolation or that meditation or that mindfulness, to find an identifiable, guru or teacher who's going to take you through, prayer, is going to take you through healing, is going to take you through the realm of affirmations, or even reclaiming your inherited tendencies of goodness, and is teaching you and transforming you and making you enlivened or enlightened to your true nature, and then to bring it back into life and to put it out there so that you can be a good human being, you can be a well-meaning person in society, you can be a good family member, you can be a good parent, a good brother, good sister, good husband or wife, good parent, good person in society, maybe even setting up an organization or doing something for the welfare of Mother Earth, or just the elements, or working for the animals, the trees, the plants, whatever you're doing. But remember that the journey starts from self-evaluation in silence. And then it goes to finding a good teacher or a guide or a coach, whatever you're looking for, somebody, maybe even a mentor. And then coming, I read somewhere once that it said that you go to the mountaintop and then you go to the monastery or to the temple or to the cave, and then from there you come to life or to the marketplace or, to adventuring in material nature, whatever you have to give back. So the final truth is that we have to go everywhere. We have to live, we have to discover, we have to search. And it doesn't mean that once you've brought your wares down and you've been in the marketplace, you don't have to go back to the mountain. So I always tell people that there's dreaming, there's sleeping, and there's waking. So in whichever realm you're moving through, you have to go to the mountain, you have to go to the prayer hall or to your mentor, and you have to come to living life every day on a daily basis. So that's how life cycles and spirals become karmically clearer, because you will find, I get many people in my office telling me all the time that, why do same things keep repeating themselves in my life? And I often find it sometimes difficult to explain to them that they haven't learned the lessons, or they've not unraveled the or found the clue.
Or the meaning. Yeah,
the clue of their magic, potion, or their, when we were little kids, we were given these puzzle books and we had to find a way through the maze, and sometimes we would reach a dead end and then we had to start again. So it's the same way that you have to find the clue for your life, and you have to get, definitely aligned to what is important for you and what is important for the people that you live with. And what is it that you really want to do? What are you searching for? What are you looking for? And what are you aspiring to do with your talents, with your education, with your abilities, with your body? There could be somebody who loves gardening. There could be somebody who loves writing. There could be somebody who just likes sermonizing. So, you have to find your way through different patterns and talents. This morning I had a call from somebody in the US who was telling me that he's very afraid, since he's come out of this isolation, that he's very afraid he's going to be very sick and his parents aren't going to be getting to him in time. Then I, had another message from somebody who was talking about his legal company and how well he's doing and how he's employed 150 people and he's giving them jobs and he's giving them so much astuteness and knowledge and partnership in his enterprise, and that everybody's going to be wealthy and he wants them to be wealthy. And then I had somebody who was telling me that they're teaching young children and they think they're the gems of the future, and they want each one of them to be a shining diamond. So now, everyone has their own mission and everyone's doing their own thing. Somebody's hibernating, is, looking at what's happening to them. Somebody's looking out for the welfare of the others. Somebody's touching the lives of other people and manifesting opportunities and wealth and knowledge for them, and the others are just sending out the knowledge and they're advocates of the future. So whatever you're doing, the future is definitely coming, running towards you. So you will have to embrace, you will have to hug the future and embrace and live. So whether you live in happiness, whether you live in sorrow, you live in tragedy, you live in, gratitude, you live in happiness, joy, celebration, it's your choice.
So as we move into that free will choice zones, coming back to today's topic of being grateful for my karma and our karma, like taking our own responsibility for our karma, that cycle, like you're talking of action and consequence.
Yes.
So how does gratitude, what is gratitude bringing to that karmic cycle?
Gratitude is bringing fulfillment, it's bringing expression of sharing, it's bringing a reciprocation from the universe that we are living in, it's bringing appreciation from people around you, it's bringing new knowledge, new circumstances, and definitely it's unfolding good karma. And in that unfolding of good karma, you're able to give your family a very supreme connection to the divine through education, through knowledge, through spiritual connections, through healing, through appreciation of togetherness, and charging everyone with a respect, like a constant respect for the universe that they're living in. So that is very, very important to understand. And also, it's interesting that you asked this question, because I was thinking about it, that karma actually is stored in our 7 vital chakras. So at the root chakra and at the Kundalini and at the Hara, there is a very succinct pyramid of light that is always calling out to us and wanting us to create, do, be respectful. Then when we come to the navel and the solar plexus, then we are, connected to taking and wanting and receiving and harboring and, assimilating and imbibing something, and then at the heart we are able to nurture others, including ourselves, and then from the throat and the shoulders and you know, our five senses, which is our mouth, nose, eyes, ears, and skin consciousness. It's all between the shoulders and the top of our head is a beautiful mountain or pyramid, whatever you want to call it. And that is where we are conjecturing about what we can give to the universe and what we really see, what we really hear, what we smell, what we taste, what we touch, and how our future is being built on that. And we take that to our Kundalini center, and our karma is then regurgitating itself, or is getting cooked, or is getting tasty, or is getting baked, or is getting styled, or is getting revealed. And then we are able to further nurture ourselves and nurture the world that we live in and the people that we live with.
So with that spirit of nurturance, just wanting to acknowledge all the loving messages and presence of everyone coming through. So we have Bhavna Gulati on Facebook, and we have Yogesh Vadva, Sharmishtha, Ankita Gupta, and of course Dionysus from Athens. And then we have Ria Bhatnagar. We also have Akshita, who's just joined in from the US, from Houston. And then we have Shoma, Rajni Auntie, Binu Lal. We have Puneet Taneja and family, Pooja Khan, Chavi Asrani, Devakshi, Mansi. And we have Henna. And we have Umang, and we have Rag, we have Binu Auntie, Anubha and Rachna, and so many, many, many more of all these wonderful souls. We have Deepthi, and we have Tiny Auntie, Rita Arora, and of course Kavita Mittal and Simran Sani. So just wanted to acknowledge everyone present here today, but a special shout out to all these wonderful
loved ones who are sending us love
messages all the time. So thank you so much. And we have, I think, a message. Dionysus says, thank you for the manual, the book, most welcome. And so as we continue on this journey of gratefulness for our karma, I have now a question, and of course all of my lovely fellow soul gatherers here for the Sunday Collective, if you have a question, please feel free to type it in the chat and comment section, and I'll do my best to bring it across to Ma. And of course, Pashruti has a beautiful, loving message of saying Happy Diwali to you, Ma, and all present here. And she says, Master, you are looking so beautiful. I agree.
I love you. Thank you.
So as we go about our day, and there is, some of us might be dealing with very hardened karma. And what I mean by hardened karma is it could be ill health, it could be a financial, difficulty, it could be a family member being sick, it could be an upheaval in our own internal environment or external environment. And so my question would be that how do we tap into this gratitude, and how will that gratitude transform that karma that may be burdensome in that moment into lightness and purpose and healing?
You have to first, before we answer how unburdening all that, first we have to understand that
why is it happening?
Yeah, that also, and where is it happening?
Okay.
So again, coming back to the 7 chakras, and I'm just dealing with the root chakra at the base of our spine, which is red in color, the Kundalini, which is of course blue, yellow and red. Then we have orange at the hara, and white at the navel, yellow at the solar plexus, green at the heart, and blue at the throat. And we have purple at the third eye chakra. So now why am I giving you the colors? Because that will help you to identify what is happening where. So what's happening in the red zone, so everywhere there are 7 affirmations or identifications or ideas that are always nesting. So at the root chakra, it is our ability to root on planet Earth. Just like a tree would root on planet Earth, we also have very strong roots that we grow from our root chakra. And these roots go into 7 zones. So those 7 zones, the first one is of course to the parents where we are born into. Then the second one is to Mother Earth. The third is to our relationships with every living being on planet Earth. Then the fourth is our ability to harness our relationship with the 5 elements, which includes Mother Earth, the prana of air, the water, the sun, and the space that we are creating for ourselves to be born into. The fifth is our ability to nurture our inheritance from our ancestors, from our, whatever is left behind. Maybe your grandparents were very wealthy or they were not so wealthy. Maybe there was poverty in the family that you were born into. Whatever it is, your ancestors have left you some karmic resonance that you're activating as your root chakra. And then comes the 6th one, which is your relationship with wealth. And that is again coming from inherited tendencies from your previous lifetimes. And then the 7th is, of course, you're rooting into knowledge. Knowledge that is coming from, of course, experiences in your previous lifetime. Then when we come to the karma of the 7 zones of our Kundalini chakra. So in the Kundalini chakra, we are really looking at all the 4 punishments and the 3 rewards. So what are the 3 rewards? The 3 rewards are heightened associations of love with all living beings, heightened associations with sufficiency in food, sufficiency in air, sufficiency of water, sufficiency of, space, and of course wealth. And then comes the 4 punishing realms where there is lack of education, there's lack of wealth, there's lack of food and water and air and all that. And then finally, lack of spiritual contentment. Then we come to the hara. So that is where we have creation. We are really looking at the creative aspect of our abilities because that's where our reproductive organs are. So this fulfillment of sex, fulfillment of, having fun in your life, depression, inadequacy of, creation by your associative family members, that somebody is taking away your rightful share or stealing from you, or there is some overindulgence, so you're overeating, or there's addictions with alcohol and drugs and smoking and food, and sometimes even sex, and sometimes even lack of education. And then there is the final one, which is that there's insufficiency of love that is coming from the realm of the external world. Then we come to our navel chakra, which is of course white in color, and that is where we were connected to our mother. So the first thing is that our relationship with the 5 elements in harmony so that we have a healthy body. So disease is coming from there, right? If there's inadvertently some element is missing, so that's where we have genetic health problems, or somebody may have a hole in the heart, somebody may have some other genetic problem, somebody could have insufficiency of red blood cells in their body. We can look at many, many genetic problems that are coming from the navel chakra, where your relationship with your mother is surcharged with insufficiency. And then there is some problems with, like asthmas and health problems that are coming. Those are also coming from the navel chakra. Then there is your insufficiency of prolonged happiness. So depression is coming from the hara, but there's prolonged happiness is coming from your navel chakra. And then there is love and affection and gratitude and balanced education, enough wealth for for you to go to school and college and maybe go abroad for studies, whatever it is. All that is coming and is defined by your collaboration of what is sufficient in your navel with your Kundalini chakra. And if they're both in symphony, then you're going to complete all your life goals in quick speed. And sometimes there'll be, somebody's failing in class, somebody's, not got, the parents don't have enough money to send them to school, or sometimes, there is depression and the student doesn't want to go to school. So there can be a multiple of reasons that are all activated at the navel chakra. Then we come to the beautiful solar plexus. So our solar plexus is definitely connecting us to the sun's energy. So here is where we get into fame and defame. So whether we get recognition or we get lack of recognition, it could be also that you have sibling rivalry right at the moment you're born into the family. Maybe your siblings are already not liking you, or you are the eldest and you're not liking your siblings when they're born, or it's a cousin, or it's your mother, or it's your father. I know many people, who will ask little children, do you love your mom more or do you love your dad more? And most of the kids who say they love their dad more have too much sun's energy in the solar plexus, and when they have more energy of the moon in the solar plexus, they'll say they love their mother.
Oh,
so
wow.
And it can be interchangeable. So don't think it's a fixed reality, because the energies are constantly changing. Then again, it comes whether you'll have enough food in your life. And whether you'll have enough education, enough wealth, enough home support in work. I know a lot of people who have a very weak solar plexus who keep changing jobs all the time, or they get a job and they lose a job, and then they get another job and they lose another job, and they're trying to keep doing the work to their best efficient thing, and then they are just asked to leave their job. So that comes from a weak solar plexus, their professional adventures of life. And then, of course, it's the most important one is about failed relationships, that you are constantly misunderstood and your relationships are not active. And the last one is, of course, that there is ill health. All diseases are coming from the solar plexus, especially the physical body diseases. And it could be, connected to your throat, it could be connected to your lungs, it could be connected to your, heart, even your digestive system, your kidneys, your ureters. And then we come to the heart chakra, where there is fundamentally it's the love center. So your ability to love your parents, your ability to love your siblings, your ability to love your job, your ability to love education, your ability to love the people that you work with, your ability to love the elders, and finally your ability to recognize who is your mentor and who is your spiritual guide and who is your guru. And in that process, finally to love yourself. And then we come to the throat, which is about creating and creativity. So are you going to create children? Are you going to create a piece of music, art, painting? Are you going to create good dishes? Are you going to create, maybe build a car, maybe build an aeroplane, whatever
Build a home.
Build a home. build a home for somebody else, whoever. And, also simple things, maybe a dollhouse for your children to play in, maybe a kite to fly, all these things, or maybe learn how to drive, how to knit, how to crochet. All those things are coming from the throat chakra.
So that creative aspect is directly linked to
To
our
the
hara creation.
Hara and the navel.
Navel creation. So they're all three
Three
working,
are working
together.
in tandem together.
Actually, all 7, I would assume, are working together.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, of course, finally, it's your third eye chakra, which is giving you the ability to synthesize what you're doing. And I think your third eye chakra predominantly tells you, because the throat and the third eye are all in between those two chakras are your 5 senses. So your 5 senses are seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching. So they're trying to touch the truth, and whenever they're not able to touch the truth, then the third eye chakra is in a faulty space. So then the third eye chakra is getting the wrong information and is telling you to make the wrong decisions, say the wrong things. So you have to understand that your speech is definitely controlled by your third eye and throat chakra. And mostly we get into trouble when we say the wrong things. So you have to be very, very careful. That's why they say that silence is golden. Because then you can be silent and you can live at the crown chakra, which is at the top of the mountain, where there is complete silence and there is no, all reform takes place in the third eye chakra. All, people who want to steal, who want to cheat, all are coming from the third eye chakra. Those are the negative qualities that are activated at the hara and truthfully accepted at the throat and activated at the third eye.
And it's really interesting that you say that all reform happens in the third eye chakra, which is the chakra for knowledge and wisdom. And then you gave the prisoner's example, because being a psychologist, like I have worked with like a lot of prison reform, like as as a participant of larger projects and larger NGOs and institutions. And one of the biggest numbers that you see, whether it's in Western countries or in India, is that when inmates have an opportunity to study and to get like even a high school education or learn a vocational trade that they can use once they are out
of prison.
Out of prison, and even while they're in prison, is something that does help them reform into society
and
walk
integrate
and walk away from a life of crime and criminality. So that's really interesting from a psychological and social perspective and a healing perspective to make the two understand. And so at the crown chakra, then there aren't any 7 that are happening. Everything is happening simultaneously.
Everything is silent.
Okay, everything is silent.
And
so what do you mean by that?
The flame is burning and there's illumination, and you are... once we get there, then there's no way we can come back to any of the corruptions of any of the chakras, because we can see very clearly. We can hear silently. We can speak less. And we can taste everything very, very deliciously, appreciatively, and all appreciation, all gratitude, and all functions of a good heart all happen at the crown chakra.
Okay, so I think that is a perfect baseline for all of us to delve deeper into Umang's question, Ma, for you. So he says, Ma, grateful for all this guidance. Could you please expand a bit more on what is heightened association of love with everyone? How is it happening? What do we need to do to fulfill it? Grateful.
So we have to understand that the only time we can really experience love is, there's no word in the Sanskrit dictionary of love, it's prem only. And prem bhav is only with the divine. So we are separated from the divine, and our entire search in the human realm is to reconnect with the divine and go back to the divine abode. So we are constantly in meditation, we are mindful of everything that we are doing wrong. We are trying to keep gratitude journals. We are healing ourselves so that we don't hurt even the blade of grass that we stand on. And we are always nurturing the 5 elements. We are grateful for this body, and we are connected to the essential essence of oneness with the divine. And we know that the divine has given us this temporary body, and this body is not eternal. The soul is eternal. So when our soul self is activated, it's at the highest crown chakra, and we are living there, we are interacting with the divine, we are hearing the divine, we are seeing the divine, we are praying, we are healing, we are silent, and we are in love. And that love is only for the divine, because every other love in material nature is temporary. Even when we love somebody dearly, but when we have to leave our body, we are going to leave them heartbroken, and then they are going to carry that heartbreak into their next life, and they'll keep looking for that, and they may keep looking for you, but you're not coming back. Mostly we don't come back. We are forming our own soul groups in the spiritual realms, and we are finding sometimes the divine is sending us down to do some work for him, and that's how we are going round and round. So look at it like a spiral, and the spiral is going upwards, and we are going to the mountain peak where there's going to be deep silence and contemplation. And what is that silence and contemplation? It's about connecting with the light and the flame and the illumination and the effulgence. And in that illumination and effulgence, we have enlightenment. And from enlightenment is liberation. We are liberated from this material universe, and we live in the spiritual. So that's what I would say is the harnessing of goodness in love with the... Who do we love the most? We can't in the human realm love. Of course, the guru can love the student, and the student can love the guru, but that's also a spiritual exchange.
And in fact, just as Umang is asking this question, and Ma, you're answering it so beautifully and taking us on this journey, the word that is resounding in my heart and head is bhakti. And in fact, yesterday evening, I was thinking about this Kabir Ji Doha, which I think is so appropriate as an answer, as a path for all of us to go into that bhakti ras, because that is the true heightened association of love. So bhakti towards the divine, the guru, the light, and only through that will it be for our fellow human and fellow travelers. And so the doha is Sant Kabir kahe, लाली मेरे लाल की जित देखूं तित लाल, लाली देखन मैं गई, मैं भी हो गई लाल.
So sweet.
So
Maybe ho gayi laal. So you can translate it.
Yes. So Lali mere laal ki. So Sant Kabir says that the divine's presence is so intoxicating, and it's here. Jit dekhun tit laal. That wherever I look, inside, outside, within, without, I only see this beautiful presence of the divine, this effulgent light. And when I go closer to it to find out what is this effulgence, then I too become part of the divine.
Part of that effulgence.
Yes, part of that effulgence.
So sweet. Nice.
I was as I was going to sleep yesterday, this doha came into my heart.
So sweet. Nice.
Yes. So Umang, I heal that answers and gives you an anchor
To become Lal.
to become Lal. Yes.
So what's the next question?
The next question comes from a center of gratefulness for this collective. And as we journey into our one aspect of karma, I have always understood as our life unfolding and the actions that we do and the consequences we receive, not only from our past lives, but from this life right here, right now. So how do we then go into the second aspect of karma, which is about responsibilities and duties? Or am I misunderstanding it?
No, we have responsibilities and duties depending on whether we create them.
Okay.
If we get married, then we have responsibility to our spouse. Then we gather and we have a child, then we have responsibility towards that child. Then we build a home, then we have responsibility to maintain that home. You know, sometimes the pipe is burst and sometimes the tiles are falling down, sometimes the roof is coming down. So we have repair and maintenance, right? And then if we become a scientist, then we have responsibility for research. If we become a chef, then we have responsibility to cook good food. And if we become a farmer, then we have responsibility to sow the seeds at the right time. And if we become a teacher in a school, then we aspire to teach properly and give the children all the knowledge in the most interesting way that it stays with them. So finally, we have to decide how expert we want to be at whatever is the role that the divine has spread out for us, and how are we going to live it. And depending on what we undertake, we have to fulfill. And if we fulfill it well, then in our next life, we'll have something more to do, to build on top of that. And if not, then we'll come and repeat until we learn it better and do it better and finish off our karmic destiny with all the other souls that we are traveling with.
I think this is an aha moment for me, and I'm sure many will resonate, that this is such a clear picture that you've painted for us in such a practical sense, that we should really move away from this resonance that responsibilities and duties are being thrust upon us. These are actually responsibilities and duties that we have willingly created for ourselves and are contractually obligated to fulfilling and dispensing. So we should really get on with it with a healed heart filled with love and gratefulness. And that gratefulness will then chart a path to achieve it effortlessly through practice.
Yeah.
I think that's a really aha moment for me, Ma. So very, very grateful. And so we have Kajal. Hi, Kajal, who has a very, very important question, which I'm going to get to after I take Binu's question, Binu Lad, who asks, Ma, what's the significance of applying tilak or bindi? Does that strengthen the third eye chakra?
So tilak is to remind yourself that this, tilak is put from, we take the chandan or the orange from Hanumanji's charan or the red sindhur from Mata Rani's charan, and we anoint it is to remind ourselves at the third eye chakra that we are devotees of the divine, of Mata Rani, of Hanumanji or Vishnu tilak. And when somebody gets married, then the sindhur is put and the red bindi is put, and that is to, our third eye chakra is always wandering, and sometimes it gets a little lustful and it wants sexual satisfaction. So it is to keep ourselves reminded that we are already in a relationship with somebody of the opposite sex or whichever sex, and we should refrain from wandering and lusting for other souls, And so that's just part of the chakra anatomy, that the minute we put the red dot, we are very linked to our sex chakras and our Kundalini and root chakra. And the resonance of the red keeps us very, the roots of that attachment are very strong, and they keep us tied to the relationships that we are in. So I think that is just at a very simple level. That's what I would say. Then, of course, there are mantras that we chant, and it's the bindu, and it's the creation, the point of creation in the spiritual realm, and it's the point of the Shri Chakra and the 10 dwars of association. But those are all very technical things that I would not get into right now.
Yes, but this is already such a, I think, practical answer for us to understand. And also the difference between the tilakam and the bindi is really clear now. It's clear for me that the tilakam is always received
from the
divine grace
as a blessing.
And the bindi is an armament of protection and
that
activation.
That a married woman puts,
So can it also be for unmarried girls?
Yes, of course. It also keeps them safe and secure.
And for men who also take the sindhoor and chandan, and they do a tilak every day on their...
That is to remind themselves
of the divine. So that tilak, whether you're man or woman, when you're doing the tilak, which is of the kumkum and chandan and the vibhuti, that is to remind us of our divine connection. And the bindi specifically
is for our own nurturance,
our own material protection. Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Love it, Ma. And so we have Kajal's question where she asks that, Ma, grateful for your guidance and your time. I would like to add that. I say that every time, but it's true that these, for an hour or 2 hours on a Sunday that you give us, Ma.
I love being with all of you.
We love having you with us. It's so precious. And so Kajal asked that, Ma, please enlighten us that if our past karma can be changed.
Yes, of course it can be changed, because if we fulfill our responsibilities and we move to, better, the divine is always blessing us to move to better and better and better spheres. And the spirals of ascension, like going up the hill on a goat trail, remember?
Sorry, Ma. I was just getting an incoming call. So 1 second, I'll just put it on aeroplane mode. Please bear with me, everyone. Sure. Can someone just message to say if we're back? I know we're streaming on Facebook, fine, but Instafam, can you see Ma and hear me clearly?
Yes, no.
I heal so.
No,
I heal so. Yes, so we have a couple of yeses, so that's perfect. We're back. Yes,
so
you were answering that, yes, Kajal's question about can we change our past
destiny,
karma. And how do we go about it?
If we are in a trapped relationship, or we are in a soul group where, it could be a set of friends, it could be a boss, it could be your in-laws, it could be somebody that you owe a debt to from a previous lifetime, or somebody that you've taken a loan from and you're really struggling to pay it, whatever it is. Yes, we can change that by getting connected to the divine and doing some prayer, or we could get connected to healing and we could start healing ourselves. And the third is to understand that sometimes from relationships that we are trapped in, we have to understand that what is the other person really asking us for, and how is it that the exchange of whatever they're asking for can be paid in healing dollars, so that you can move away free and restart your life. So I always tell people it's not necessary to carry the birds with you, and you have to understand that sometimes you have to walk a path alone for a little while. before you find your new group of souls to associate and interact with. So you have, yes, I see it all the time. People are changing their karma remarkably.
That is very reassuring to
Yes.
hear.
Yeah.
And then we have Krishan Nagpal or Nagagopal, who says Pranam Ma. And they ask that, isn't it true that everyone on earth is a sinner who is supposed to find their way out of this jail? Question mark. Please answer.
No, everybody's not a sinner. In fact, everyone who comes down on planet Earth is coming down to be part of the divine plan and wanted to play God. So God said that, in my world you can't play God, but you can go down and you can be God. So everybody is being God, and they're all wanting to be controllers and, activators and planners and designers and architects of their future. And some of us do ask for help from the divine, others walk alone, and some walk with the help of other souls who are holding their hand. And some of us are pretty much holding other people's hands. So we are not sinners, we are co-travelers, and we are all on the road less traveled. And we are sometimes coming to pay off our karmic destiny to other souls, and sometimes we are coming to help create, so much more love and appreciation and heightened rejoicing and doing research and bringing down new knowledge and helping other souls to celebrate and to learn and to move ahead. So everybody is being given an equal opportunity, and how we make use of that opportunity is our own fundamental reason to create or not to create, to take or not to take. So everybody is, in the same queue, and depending on what we want, we'll take and we'll move ahead. So I don't think that we are sinners. We are actually all come down to be happy and to live and to love and to enjoy. And in this joyfulness that, after a few repeated interactions in the human realm, we realize that this is not a good place, we want to go back. So then God says, okay, come back, I love you. So he takes us back into his embrace, and we go back to work with him then. Sometimes the divine says, go down and work for me. Go and tell all the other souls who are not feeling so comfortable that they can come. So then we go back and we teach them and we gather them, and all birds of a feather flock together. So once we've impregnated other souls with the goodness, we take them back with us. So that's how it works.
Wow. But you've painted our entire journey, I think.
Yes.
And so grateful for that question.
Yeah.
And then we have Neera Bajaj, who asks, how do we find the right balance in our karmic and spiritual life? So just as a caveat, Neera, and for others, that your karmic life is spiritual and your spiritual life is your karmic life. They are not separate. So Ma, could you tell us how they are not separate?
Because your karma is going to design how you're going to find the divine again. And depending on how quickly you pay all your debts, then you will be given the shortest road back to the divine abode. And karma is actually, a lot of people think karma is a punishing word. But I always say that karma is actually waiting to give you all the gifts that you need, all the goodness that you need, all the strength that you need, all the celebration that you need, so that you can freely give to the others, and then you can move ahead very fast. But people are a little bit stingy. They don't want for themselves and they don't want to share further. And they keep hoarding and hoarding. And previously in maybe a few 100,000 years ago, people would have talked about, having very few clothes and very few things in their homes. And so they were all okay to move from one space to the other space. And then we came to packers and movers, helping you to move from one city to the other. Because I remember that my father was, a transferable job, and we used to move countries, and we used to have, packers and movers who would, then there used to be insurance that if anything breaks, they would pay for it and all. And it was quite fun to see how they would put bubble wrap and they would do all those things and all. And now, I find that, I have to start telling people that first you have to unclutter your computer, because you will not be able to unclutter your life till you have uncluttered your iPad, your phone, your computer, with all the things that you're just hoarding in there which you will never use. So you have to, I don't know, what do you call it, Divya?
Yes, absolutely. I think a lot of us don't schedule time to sort of go through our iPhone or our iCloud or our Google servers, like whatever, service that you are using to back up all this unnecessary data and information. And I am also now very, very awakened that I also will spend a good part of this evening, I think tonight and tomorrow, doing this decluttering of one of my laptops. All the others are very, very good, but there are, I think, a tendency to sort of just let data dump happen on our devices. And I never ever thought that that's also an extension of our life, but it is. It is. So what is the energy that we're getting from our devices that have this overabundance, or even the iCloud or the Google
It's a very, very
cloud?
cluttered third eye chakra, which is totally jammed. And you're not able to see, you're not able to hear, you're not able to smell, to taste, to think, and not able to activate your good, karma. And to really appreciate life, to be grateful for your teeth, for your eyes, for your ears, for your body, the functioning of the body, and the clothes that you wear. I find that people keep buying, and when they're losing weight, putting on weight, they have different size clothing. They keep putting it away, thinking that, okay, now I'm going to have, and now I'm going to, put this down, and I will wear it later and later and later. And I always say that you should give it away. In fact, I was speaking to somebody yesterday whose husband passed away. After 15 years, she's discovered that there's a trunk full of clothing that belonged to her husband that's still going from, and she's moved home many times, but she's saying this is the first time she's discovered that she's still carrying some of his clothing. So I said that she should keep one piece of that clothing, and the rest she should give away to people who will be able to use it in their lives and appreciate it. And that would be the most generous act of healing karma. So uncluttering your lives is very, very important. And I know that when we used to move house from one city to the other or one country to the other, we used to automatically be uncluttering a lot of things. My mother would just give them away, and we would move very
light
and
rejuvenated, ready for the next adventure,
and realizing that how little we actually needed.
Wow. And then we have Amit, who asks, Ma Pranam, how do we deal with close relationships which were once cherished but have gone sour over a period of time?
Yeah, mostly relationships go sour because we have expectations, and these expectations are all harnessed in our Hara chakra, where there is a false perception that people should behave with us only in a specific way and no other way. And to understand that our karma with them invites this lack of respect, or we are showing lack of respect, or there's a lack of wanting to give, or they are wanting more because they've given in a previous lifetime something to you. So I always say that you must be generous with your family, with your loved ones, and also with your spouses, loved ones, and family. There should be equality and a strong sense of awareness that this is only a short life. How many people are you going to fight with? How many people are you going to allow to, disrespect you, or you disrespect them? So it's best to move away and always respect the divine, and know that the divine has put the situation in front of you because you have something to give in the situation and something to take, and why not make it pleasurable? If you would just go out there and hug the person, you would neutralize their anguish, and you would neutralize your own anguish, and you would, put out a hand of generosity. And even if they don't give you back in a generous act, believe me, somebody else will come to give you that. Because when I teach healing, I always tell people, don't say that, I have to get my money back from this person. You have to say that the money has been duly received. Whether it comes from that person or the universe will decide where it's coming from. But you will be satisfied at the end of the day. So be patient and be comforting, and remember that there is only that much that you can give, and that much that somebody else can give. If you're not willing to take their abuse, then how will they give you abuse? You can just neutralize it in showing generosity. Because like attracts like in the universe. So you can be sure that if somebody is being arrogant, then you also showing a sample of that arrogance, and that's what's attracting that disrespect or arrogance from somebody else. And mostly people who are very needy, we find them very unpalatable, and we think that but my father used to always say that if you cannot help somebody to celebrate, at least in the time of misfortune or distress, you must go and stand with them. Because that's the final test. That's what the divine is watching. That's what's going to heal your karma. So maybe they're giving you an opportunity to heal something in your life which is distressing you, and the minute you turn the key to their good fortune, everything is going to flow into your life. So be patient.
So the abundance of togetherness and the expansiveness of community is very important.
Yeah, very important.
And then we have Binu, who asks a follow-up question. She says that, Ma, will moving out of a relationship make us get negative karma?
No. It's always good to move out of relationships. Then you can really value whether the relationship is good or bad. Sometimes when we keep staying in the relationship and saying bad, 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 it's only when we move away we say, oh my God, that was not bad, it was really good. So you have to be very careful with what you're thinking bad and what you're expecting. Mostly it comes from a false identification that I deserve better. But what are you giving? You have to look very carefully about that.
Yeah, I think that today's one of the main takeaways that I'm seeing that are a thread in every answer of yours, Ma, is for us to take accountability for our own actions and choices, but at the same time be very compassionate to the self and others.
And to the others, because yourself is also reflected in the other. And the divine that you have in your heart is also reflected in the heart of the other.
So as we are in this reflective and meditative journey, Chavi asks that how can one improve to receive good energy levels or to enhance our good energy levels?
First of all, to drink lots of water, because that takes away a lot of the toxins out of our body, because 70% of our body is water. So if you are, that's the first step. The second step is to keep a gratitude journal, and it will give you in 5 days I make it a 5-day challenge. If you keep a gratitude journal for 5 days, you'll have a very quick ability to review your life, and you will see whether you're really being honest with yourself or you're being facetious, that you're just skimming on the top. I'm very happy for my home and very happy for this one and that one. When you get into the depth by day 5, you have to really think of new things to write that you're grateful for. So it's the tipping point that you will really understand. The third is to write down what are the 5 good acts that you've done in a day for somebody else, not for yourself, that were selfless. So I have found not anyone being able to come up with 5 good things that they've done in a single day for somebody outside of the family. They'll say, oh, I put out water for the birds, and then I ironed my mother's clothes, and then I cooked a chapati for my dad. But that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking for what do you do, 5 good things that you did for somebody. Unrelated. I recently in one of my messages said that, to give 5 bananas to somebody outside of the house, or 6 bananas, I'm not even sure, and to come back home and cut the banana in 5 pieces and eat it. And so many people said that, I cut the banana and eat it, but I forgot to give the bananas. So I was like, wow, they're so quick to feed their body and so quick to, look at what they want from themselves. Yes, the blue light is twinkling.
Healed. So I'm just going to gently sort of just take that and show that to everyone.
Yeah, it's
so the blue light is complete. So what does that mean?
That means that everybody's throat chakras or whatever they're actualizing for themselves is all healed, and they're going to be very creative from today, and Diwali is going to be wonderful for them, and they're going to have fun.
That's beautiful. And Mitali, hi Mitali, she says that yes, she gave the bananas.
Yeah,
she remembers that
That's
it was
nice.
quite decent.
Sweet. But I had lots of messages of people saying they forgot to give, but they ate it for sure. I said, wonderful, this is so sweet.
Yes. So I think Sakshi also had a question about being detached in troublesome relationships. So I think it's the same answer, Sakshi. So be reflective and see that what are you giving and how you can give
more. And if you keep giving judgment and complaints that this one didn't do and that's not good and this is not good, then people are also going to judge you. They're also going to say, you're not good, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you took this away, this is my rightful share, why did you take it? You're so bad, you're so ugly, you're so like not a good member of the family. So it's very interesting how people will respond to you. Remember that if you listen carefully, whatever you're thinking, you're actually inviting into your life. So be very careful of the negative. Recall and cancel. And invite the opposite.
Invite the positive.
Positive.
Yes. So just a moment of reflection and wonder at these lovely healing illuminating candles that are wish fulfilling, and I know I can feel their warmth reaching everyone who's tuning in. And so as we are sort of in the last 15 minutes of our beautiful Sunday collective, what are the remaining thoughts of the collective? I invite them to share, or questions that they have. And Ma, what is your guidance for us in these 7 days that will kick off our new year, at least for all of us who are celebrating Diwali?
Yeah, that people should really pledge to definitely write down 5 or 7 things that they really want to leave behind in the year 2021, and what they want to take into 2022, and they should write it, and after 7 days they should burn it, consign those chits of paper to flames, and know that they're going to be leaving those behind, and maybe write a letter for themselves for the future, that these are the things that I aspire to do in 2022, and then at the end of 2022 to reflect, take out the letter that you wrote to yourself and see how much you really achieved of your life. I always find that writing a letter to yourself is very, very instrumental in showing you who you are and what you've become and where you've reached. And most of the time when you're doing it with healing, you will find that you've gone far beyond your expectations. And I think at the beginning, Divya had asked me about the starlight candles, and then I wanted to say, and then I think somewhere we got into another thing, that the wax that these candles are made with is a lot of chanting of mantras is done, and then these candles are very mystical. There's a lot of spiritual light in them and a lot of blessings and healing. And when you light them, they're like wish-fulfilling candles, and wherever your wishes are going, they're illuminating and they're gathering the energies for you and removing all the obstacles, hurdles, and they're creating new time frames for you to actualize your highest potential of positivity.
So they are available for everyone to light at the Midnight Galaxy. Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just feeling so full with this resonance of the light and the resonance of this gratefulness for our karma, and how we are really, by fulfilling our karmic actions daily, we are launching ourselves into a great spiritual adventure.
Yeah.
Yes.
And moving away from loneliness, I feel that what is that one energy that I find that we've carried from 2020 to 2021, which I'm sending a lot of healing that people don't carry it into 2022, is a lot of broken dreams, aspirations destroyed that people had for 2021, that they would do this, have this, maybe get married, maybe have children, maybe set up a new business, maybe they even invested in a new business in 2020 and they found it didn't come to much in 2021. So a lot of broken dreams and a lot of loneliness, because there's been isolation, there's been insufficient money, there's been too much responsibility with children at home, with their homework, where there's so many things, grandparents, COVID, pandemic. And definitely yesterday I was knowing that a lot of people are going to be coming to a much better framework with Jupiter and Saturn moving away from each other. And then, as we move into 2022, there's definitely a more productive spiritual energy, and even the planetary energies are moving to bring more benefit to the human race, and people are going to find a lot more success, lot more wealth, lot more good health. And I think that in the next 2-3 months we should be putting the pandemic to rest, and people will be in better health and not so fearful and not so alone and not so lonely. So stand by those who are lonely and send out healing. I'm telling all the healers out there to support.
That sense of belonging is, I think, very important to not only what we call our birth families or the families that we are born into or find ourselves, associated with, but to know that what is our larger purpose in sharing that light
with others in society, cities, countries, and even the universe.
Yes. So we have Fawzia and Neera Auntie. I'll just take 2 more questions, ma.
Yes.
But Fozia and Neera Chopra have the same question about your daily messages, your daily healing messages. And for those of you who are listening in, you can go to www.renooji.com, and we have our daily message, healing message from Ma, amongst many other great spiritual tools and affirmations on a daily basis. So that's what Neera Chopra and Fozia are referencing. And they are asking for the last 1 month that we've been getting the daily messages with 5 things to do. So what is the significance of this number 5?
The 5 elements, your 5 Gyanendriyas, which are the information collecting. So your eyes are seeing, your nose is smelling, your mouth is tasting, your ears are hearing, your skin is touching. And then the 5 Karamendriyas, which are your procreating energies, your excretory organs, your hands, your feet, and your tongue, which are action-doing senses. So to heal all those, and of course your man, your buddhi, your ahankar, which is your ego and your false ego, your mind, your intelligence, and time, which is very important. And then of course you and the divine, the 27, all nesting together. So wonderful trip of number 5 over 30 days. Take 5 steps.
Yes.
Yes.
That is quite magical.